Welcome back to the AI Daily Brief Headlines Edition, all the daily AI news you need in around 5 minutes. Unless they make some major changes soon, Apple is headed straight to the history books for their unparalleled bungling of the AI opportunity. The latest in this insane saga is that according to Bloomberg sources, a fully agentic and conversational version of Siri isn't expected until 2027 and the release of iOS 20. Austin Allred sums up all of our feelings when he tweets, 2027 is like 25 years away in AI years. They literally built Grok from scratch in a shorter time frame. In the interim, before that full version, Apple will release an updated version of Siri in May, focused on delivering features that were first previewed last June, like basic interactions with apps. The update will still be based on the current architecture, which Bloomberg describes as having, quote, two brains. One for processing simple assistant tasks like setting reminders, and another for answering in-depth queries using generative AI. This split structure is one of the reasons the Siri experience remains error-prone and disjointed. Following this year's release, Apple will attempt to bring the two halves of Siri together in a single infrastructure before working on a more conversational version. With Amazon releasing AI Alexa later this month, and Google shipping Gemini Assistant late last year, Apple will be a full 2 years behind these companies, which weren't frankly all that up to date themselves. Bloomberg suggests there will be no major new consumer-facing features for Apple Intelligence with iOS later this year, with the company still working to deliver and refine features that were promised in 2024. Bloomberg writes, "This has left Apple at a make-or-break point. Clearly, the company isn't moving fast enough internally to create the underlying AI technology it needs to keep up with the competition, and that suggests a change is required." That is putting it mildly. Bloomberg concludes AI is a once-in-a-generation technology. Apple probably still has time to turn things around, but that window is closing fast. I'm not that optimistic, frankly. Ethan Mollick contextualizes it, saying, "So according to the AI Lab's public statements, we get AGI before an improved Siri?" Daniel Burke writes, "Apple fumbled the bag so bad on the AI race, just atrociously decimated the opportunity of a lifetime. Siri is such a useless waste of space, but could have been a standalone product with a $1 trillion market cap." Now, some like Scoble are still saying that Apple has all these advantages and deep tech that will come to fruition around AR and VR, but I don't know, man. From where I'm sitting, they are just staggeringly behind. What's more, it's not clear that they feel a lot of urgency around this. At least Google seems to be recognizing that they are in an existential fight. According to an internal memo leaked to the New York Times, co-founder Sergey Brin is back in the building and is urging the company to knuckle down to win the AI race. In the memo, Brin told AI staff, "I recommend being in the office at least every weekday. 60 hours a week is the sweet spot of productivity." Brin wrote, "Competition has accelerated immensely, and the final race to AGI is afoot. I think we have all the ingredients to win this race, but we're going to have to turbocharge our efforts." More fundamentally than just a commitment to working hard, Brin urged a change in the way Google thinks about product design. He commented, "No punting, we can't just keep building nanny products. Our products are overrun with filters and punts of various kinds. We need capable products and to trust our users." Coincidentally demonstrating the issue, Y Combinator partner Tom Blumfeld posted an example of Gemini refusing to polish a slide deck, something you might think would be a core function for a document assistant. To his credit, Google AI Studio product lead Logan Kilpatrick jumped in, saying that they'd be fixing the problem, but others pointed out that this just seems to be a standard response. Vercel CTO Malte Ubel writes, "Google's key weakness when I was there was a lack of intensity. It's hard to escape from that as a large organization. In fact, to get from weak to normal, you have to massively oversteer. Glad to see the company is at least trying." Alfredo Lopez, however, responded, "It's disappointing that the general vibe of the article and from others is that somehow working longer hours together is enough. It has to go along with a renewed sense of quickly changing goals and strategy from leadership. Do the same but harder won't cut it." Lastly today, SoftBank is betting the farm on AI and they are levering up to do it. The information reports that SoftBank is in talks to borrow $16 billion to finance the Project Stargate data centers and might borrow another $8 billion next year. SoftBank has over $300 billion in assets, so they're not exactly stretching to take on this kind of debt. But levering up to bet big on the latest tech trend is one of SoftBank's signature moves that has unraveled in the past. The company is already carrying $29 billion in debt and had 3 consecutive down years leading to 2024. SoftBank sold or wrote off $29 billion in losses during that stretch as markets turned negative. Can CEO Masa-san actually execute on this? Masa hater Elon Musk obviously chimed in from the peanut gallery saying that he's over-leveraged, but it's pretty clear at this point that Masa considers AI his legacy play, so it stands to reason that he's going to push as hard as he can. From our seats over here, it'll be interesting to watch, but that is going to do it for today's AI Daily Brief Headlines Edition. Next up, the main episode.